Hello and welcome to our afternoon stretch. I'm Grace and I'll be guiding you through this next hour where we will be increasing our flexibility, our blood flow, cleansing the body through our breath, and end with a relaxing alpha at the end. So let's get started. We're going to start down on our back, connecting to our breath, which is the gateway into the body. So let's get a sense of that cool air as it comes in through the nose, travels down the throat, fills the chest. Then we want to get it all the way down into the diaphragm. Have that belly expand. And see if you can balance your breath so that you take a slow 5-count inhale and a slow 5-count exhale. And as you continue to breathe deeply, let's do a body scan. So starting at the tips of your toes, bring your focus all the way up to the crown of the head. First, check in with your energy level. And remember to give yourself permission to rest whenever you need to, modify a pose. This is your hour to honor your body. And next, I'd like to invite you to just see if there's any kind of tension, tightness, any kind of discomfort in your body. Because our purpose here is now we get to use our mind as a healing tool. So I invite you to envision this warm, soft, soothing, healing energy and visualize this ball of energy as it penetrates inside your body. So go ahead, send it around to every organ, muscle, bone, tissue, tendon. Let every cell in your body get this warm, healing energy. And especially if there are places in your body that could use extra healing and attention, see it go right there. And so now I'll guide you through a series of 3 deep cleansing breaths. So let's start with the first one. Inhale, take that air all the way in, count to 5. You want to hold that air, hold it in at the top, that's it. And now, take that 5-count slow release. Here's the second deep breath, take it in. Feel your belly expand, hold it, hold it. And now, just let it go. And here's the last one, deepest breath yet. Maybe you can take in another sip of air. Hold it in, hold it in. And now, release, relax, let go. And now I'll join you laying on my back. Getting started, we want to slowly bring the knees in toward the chest. We want to grab just under the kneecaps. And now let's send those knees around. Nice, big, slow circles. Let this feel really good in that lower back area. It's kind of like we're making circles in that lower back area. And now let's take those slow rotations back around the other way. Next, we'll get a gentle hip opener. So we want to reach around, grab hold of the back of the legs by the hamstrings, and pull down gently. Get those knees a little closer to the mat. Now, option to stay right here, or if you want to reach down further, you can grab hold of the outside of the feet going into happy baby pose. Again, we press down gently, and now you can rock side to side, still getting that lower back massage. And if you'd like, you can send those feet around in circles, extending one leg out, then the other, getting a little stretch, warm up in the hamstrings. And if you're making those circles, you can go ahead and take them back around the other way a few times. And now we can bring those knees together and just rest the soles of the feet on the mat. So here you have an opportunity to rest a bit longer, or you can come with me in doing a gentle core warm-up. To get there, the legs come in reverse tabletop, arms straight up vertical. Let's take an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, send the opposite levers out, parallel to the mat. Inhale, draw them back in. Exhale, take it on the other side. So really try to activate those abdominal muscles. Use them to press the small of the back into the mat. That's going to help protect the lower back, keeping a nice neutral spine as you tone the abdominals. So we want to focus in on the breath. You can exhale on the effort as those levers go out, and inhale as you draw them back in again. You can either come along with me in doing just a few more, or give yourself permission to stop and rest as needed. And here's our last one. Now we'll bring the knees in, the arms down. We can roll to one side and then slowly make our way up to a seated position. So let's sit up nice and tall on those sits bones. We want to have those abdominals engaged, the shoulders down and relaxed. If you want, you can close the eyes, let the focus draw inward. We're going to begin by taking some nice big shoulder rolls around to the back. So as those shoulders come up, you can inhale. As you take them around and down, let's exhale. So unless you have full range of motion is what you want, unless you have issues in that shoulder area, then you modify or simply rest. Nice warm up for the upper back and shoulder area. And now we're going to keep this going, but let's add the arms, placing those fingertips lightly on top of the shoulders. Then we want to send those arms around to the back. Again, we want full range of motion unless you have issues in that shoulder area. This is where we get that synovial fluid moving around, lubricating those shoulder joints. Very good. Now let's reverse. Let's take some arm circles forward a few times. Nice and slow, nice and big. And here's our last one. Replacing the hands, keeping the eyes still closed. Let's take some head rolls. So we're going to bring the chin toward the chest. Inhale as that head comes up to one side. Exhale as we take it slowly through center. Inhale. taking it up to the other side. So let's keep these head rolls going, just working out any tension if it happens to be there in the neck area. Just let it go. It's melting away. And now we can tip the head back, but just halfway, not all the way. And then we'll bring the chin toward the chest. Let's do that just a few more times. Now we'll stabilize the head. The eyes are still closed as we take these upper body circles. Let this feel really good in that lower back area. Nice and big, nice and slow. Very nice. And now we'll take those slow rotations back around the other way a few times. Let's take one more nice big circle all the way around, and then we'll come sitting up tall. Now we can reach those arms out, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out, and let's take a nice upper back and shoulder stretch. Reach those arms forward, head nice and relaxed, gentle rounding of the back. Inhale. On the exhale, now we can bring these arms up overhead, reaching up out of the midsection of the body. Maybe those arms can be pulled back. Now they're parallel to the ears, perhaps. Let's press up as we take an inhale. Exhale, we'll take it over to one side. Now we want the arm above the ear like this rather than having it in front of the face. This is going to allow for a deeper side body stretch. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, let's take that counter stretch, reaching the opposite direction. Now we'll do a little more cleansing of the body. We're going to sit with our arms out straight. And as we inhale, we want to make a fist. And as we exhale, audible sigh. Extend those fingertips. Again, inhale. Let it go. Here's our last one. Very nice. Now we're going to reach around, interlock those fingers behind, and lift those arms up. Gentle shoulder stretch right here. If we want to deepen it, we can slowly fold forward, allowing those arms to lift up maybe a bit higher if that feels okay in your shoulder joints. If you're folded forward, the head hangs heavy, nice and relaxed as we breathe into it. Inhale, let's lift up. So we were able to stretch out one outer hip. Let's do the other. We're going to switch out the feet, and then we can walk those palms forward until you feel the stretch in the other outer hip. If you want to deepen it, you just come down to the forearms and relax that head forward. Again, we want to breathe into the stretch. Now, once again, we can lift the chest. Now we're going to go into our butterfly pose. So we bring the soles of the feet together. If you want, you can pull those feet in a little bit if you'd like. Now, grabbing hold of the feet, we sit up tall and think and try to press those knees a little closer to the mat. Inner thigh stretch, outer hip stretch. If we want to deepen the stretch, we can go ahead and fold forward and maybe press down on the elbows to get those knees maybe just a hair closer to the mat if that feels okay in your body. And remember, our stretching is always done in a slow, easy, gentle manner. Inhale, we'll lift the chest. And now we can extend those legs out in front. If it's more comfortable though, you can keep a little bend in the knees. We're going to start just by pointing the toes and then flexing back. So you can feel a nice stretch in the calf muscles as we flex those feet back. Very nice. We'll keep them flexed. Take an inhale, reaching up overhead. On the exhale, we want to hinge the body forward first from the hip area and then slowly lower down. You're going to grab hold of what is ever is accessible to you. So you could be grabbing hold the back of the legs above the knee joints, below the knee joints. Maybe you can reach further down on the legs, or maybe you're grabbing hold of the soles of the feet. But wherever you are, keep that head nice and relaxed. So we're going to stay here for a few more moments, just allowing the body to open into the pose. So here's where I like to imagine more space being created between each vertebra as we lengthen our spine. Feel the length happening all down the back of the legs as we stretch those hamstrings out as well, breathing into the pose. Inhale, lifting the chest. Now we'll go into our seated twist so we can cross one leg over. The opposite arm comes up. Inhale. On the exhale, let's take that spinal twist. We're sitting up tall. And if you want to deepen the twist, you can use that elbow to gently press the outside of the opposite knee. A little assist here. Building in a nice, flexible spine. Very good. We'll slowly unwind. And now we can take it on the other side. Inhale, exhale, take that counter twist. That elbow assist is always an option if you'd like to deepen the twist. Again, we'll slowly unwind. Now we can bend both knees. This may allow us to reach further down on the legs, or maybe now we're grabbing hold of the soles of the feet. We want to pull the chest forward. You can stay here, or if you'd like to deepen that stretch in the back, you can walk out those heels, maybe walk the hips back. You still want to keep a bend in the knees, however. And now again, we pull the chest forward, keeping the head relaxed. Breathe into it. Inhale, lifting the chest. Now we're going to go into our cow-cat sequence. So you have options. If you happen to have hip or knee issues, you can always take this laying down on your back. But if not, you can join me in going into our tabletop pose. So I'll cue you either way. So in tabletop, we want our knees to be about hip width apart. Our shoulders are balanced over the wrist. Fingers spread slightly. We're looking down at our mat, spine in alignment. So now we're going to go into cow. Just drop the belly down. Allow that tailbone to point up toward the ceiling. Then we can close the eyes. Let's lift the chest, lift the head. And if you want, you can bring that chin forward. Little stretch in the neck area if you'd like. If you happen to be on your back, here's where you want to arch the small of the back away from your mat, getting backward flexion of the spine. Now we'll slowly move up into our cat pose. So let's round the back up. Tuck those hips under. Pull the belly up to the spine. Let the head hang heavy. If you're on your back, you're pressing the small of the back into the mat. Now, let's take breath to movement. Inhale, dropping down into our cow. Exhale, round, tuck, and curl, moving up into cat. So let's keep this flowing sequence going, building in more and more spinal flexibility in that lower back area. Primarily. And this is a really good sequence to do every day. Your back will thank you. We'll take one more round of cat-cow, and now we can meet in a neutral tabletop. So we're keeping the head nice and heavy, nice and relaxed, and let's just wag the head, wag the tail. We're bringing the shoulder toward the hip as we rock gently side to side. Feels good. And now we'll stabilize, keeping the head relaxed. Let's just move around those hips, maybe circles, figure eights, back and forth. Whatever organic movement is going to feel good to continue warming up that lower back area. So our next pose is a core strength builder. So you can either come with me, or you can rest on your back, or you can rest in child's pose, just sitting back on the heels. So pick where you'd like to begin. If you'd like to come with me, you're going to balance on your left knee and extend that right leg long. So we want to point the toes first, looking down at the mat. Feel the abs, the glutes, and the quads engaged. That's our core. Now let's go ahead and flex that foot, toes point down. So You can stay right here, but if you want a little extra balance challenge, a little more strength building, you can go into lightning bolt, picking up the opposite lever and sending it out straight. Using our core strength to hold position in this balance pose. And remember, give yourself permission to rest or release whenever you need to. I'll be here just for a few more moments. Now we can release, knee comes down. Let's lift this left arm up. We're going to take some wrist rotations. Just rinse it out. And before we take it on the other side, we have a shoulder stretch. We have two options and I'll demonstrate both. So let's inhale as we open up. Exhale, then we want to thread the needle. Send that arm through, shoulder comes all the way down to the mat, and we extend that right arm overhead, palm to the mat. That's option one. You might find it more comfortable to sit back on your heels, draw the arm across the body, and pull it back until you feel the stretch. Again, you're going to breathe into it. Very good. Now let's take it on the other side. So we're going to extend that left leg long. We want to point the toes first. And now we'll flex that foot, toes point down. Okay, now let's take it on the other side. You want to balance on your right knee and extend that left leg long, pointing the toes first. Again, you feel your core activated, nice and strong. Now we're going to go ahead and flex that foot, toes point down. Again, you can decide to stay right here, or if you'd like, you pick up the opposite lever and send it straight out. So we have our left leg back, our right arm out, going into our lightning bolt. And remember, you can release the pose when it's time for you. Building our core strength. Now we can release. Knee comes down, the arm goes up. Let's take some wrist rotations. Once again, rinse it out. And we'll find our shoulder stretch. Inhale. On the exhale, once again, we thread the needle, shoulder to the mat, extending arm overhead. Always the option to sit back and draw the arm across the body. So let's breathe into it. And now we can come on up, and we're gonna just hinge the body forward a bit and lower the body to the mat. We want to turn the head, cheek to the mat, extending those arms long by the sides of the body. So you have an opportunity to rest here if you'd like, or you can come with me into a back strengthening pose, our baby cobra. To get there, we turn the head. We want to place those palms down close to the shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed. Then we have levels here. Our first level, we lift the chest up just a bit, not the head, no wrinkles in the back of the neck, just the chest. Option 2, we can lift a little bit higher and stay right here. Option 3, light pressure on the hands. Maybe we press the tops of the feet into the mat, lifting those knees off the mat in full expression of baby cobra. Again, you're going to release the pose when it's time for you. These back strengtheners help us with our posture. So now we can release. We're going to move those forearms out in front. We can stay here and rest like this, or you can lift up, close the eyes, lift the chest, lift the head, going into Sphinx pose, getting more backward flexion of the spine. And now let's release that. We're going to rest our chin on our folded hands. We can bend the knees. And now let's windshield wiper those legs side to side. Nice release for the lower back and the hip area. Feels good. And now we can crisscross the legs back and forth. This feels good too. You can either stay here a bit longer or come with me into our next pose, which is a child's pose. To get there, we straighten the legs, tuck those toes under. We're going to press ourselves back up through our tabletop. Then we want to bring the knees to the side edges of the mat. Big toes touch. We sit back on the heels and slowly draw the forehead to the mat. So child's pose is a resting pose. Let that belly rest in between those open knees. Nice hip opener right here. And it may feel good if you'd like to just roll your forehead side to side a few times. Let's make this an active child's pose. So we're going to walk out those fingertips. We're reaching forward as we continue to sit back on the heels, elongating that spine. Nice upper back and shoulder stretch here as well. Breathe into it. And now we're going to finger walk over to the right. The hands can be side by side, or if you want to deepen the stretch, just place the left hand over the right. Now we'll finger walk back through center and take it on the other side. Hands side by side, or this time we bring the right over the left. Now we'll finger walk back center. We can press ourselves up slowly, and let's sit back. We're going to take it to a seated position right here. So we have our left foot center extending right leg out long. Let's sit up tall on those sits bones. Then we can turn, face the leg. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, we hinge and fold forward, grabbing hold of whatever's accessible to us. If it's more comfortable for you to have a bend in the knee, go right ahead. Especially if you have tight hamstrings, this might be more comfortable. So we're going to breathe into this nice stretch for the back, for the hamstrings. Inhale, lifting the chest. We can exhale. Let's take that counter twist, rinse it out. Unwinding again. Now let's take it on the other side. Extending left leg long, sitting up nice and tall on those sits bones. Inhale, nice deep breath. Exhale, hinge, and gently, slowly fold forward. Grabbing hold of what's accessible. Always the option to keep a bend in the knee. Breathe into the stretch. Inhale, we'll lift up. Exhale, rinse it out. Again, we can unwind. Let's turn. Now we can bend both knees and slowly make our way down on our back. Here's our setup for our bridge pose. So we line up the fingertips with the heels. Take an inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, lift those hips up. Now we can keep the arms right where they are, or if you want, you can clasp the hands together, interlock those fingers, rotate the shoulders underneath, creating a little shelf. This may allow those hips to lift up maybe a bit higher, getting a deeper stretch in the hip flexors. We also feel activation in the glutes and in the lower back. Now we'll release the pose one vertebra at a time. Comes back to the mat. Let's bring those knees in toward the chest. We can either grab hold right under the kneecaps, or if you want to go into a tighter ball, you can wrap the arms around the legs. Legs are side by side, shoulders relaxed. Inhale. On the exhale, let's go into a full body stretch. Stretch that body as far as you can. Either direction, arch the back, point the toes, wiggle those fingers. Nice and long. And now let's reach and then pull, reach and pull. We'll take it side to side. Inhale, and on the exhale, let's Slowly guide that right knee in toward the right shoulder. So we want to take it outside of the rib cage. Get a tight grip, interlock those fingers just under the kneecap. Pull in, feel a little compression. And you may want to flex that left foot, helping to keep the left leg on the mat. Now we'll slowly guide that knee center. Inhale, exhale. Let's extend the leg vertical, flex and point. And now we'll take some ankle rotations around each way. And now we have an optional hamstring stretch. We can guide that knee a little closer toward the chest. Guide the leg toward the chest. Now we can bend the knee, bend the other knee, and rest our right ankle on top of the left knee. Here's our reclined figure 4. We can stay here, or if you'd like, you can pick up that left knee, reach through the keyhole, interlock the fingers around the hamstrings, and you may want to deepen the stretch by guiding that left knee closer toward the chest. To deepen the stretch further, you can use the right elbow to press away the top of the right leg, increasing that stretch in the outer right hip as we breathe into it. Inhale, straightening bottom leg. Exhale, let's bring the top knee across the body. We want to turn looking the opposite direction of that knee at that open, extended palm. We want to have both shoulders close to the mat, so don't worry if that top knee doesn't quite touch. Now we can bring that leg back to center. Let's take it on the other side. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, guide that left knee in toward the left shoulder. Get a tight grip. Maybe flex that right foot. Let's guide the knee center. Inhale, exhale, extend. Point and flex. Take those ankle rotations. Next is our gentle hamstring stretch, guiding that leg a little closer toward the chest. Again, we'll bend this knee, bend the other, and find our reclined figure 4 on the other side. Again, we can stay here or take it to our supine half pigeon, picking up the right knee, reaching through, And if it feels okay, in the left outer hip, start to guide that right knee a little closer toward the chest. Always the option to use that left elbow to press the top of the left leg away. Breathe into this nice hip opener. Inhale, straightening the leg. Exhale, top knee across. Let's take our final spinal twist, trying to keep both shoulders close to the mat. Now let's roll center. We can take our happy baby pose one more time, either grabbing hold the back of the legs by the hamstrings, or we can reach down further, grab hold of the outside or the inside of the feet. And we can now just rock side to side if you'd like. If you want to extend one leg out, then the other, whatever feels good. Now we'll bring the soles of the feet together and we can just rest those legs, bringing them gently to the mat with the knees apart. The arms can be along the sides of the body, or if you want, you can bring those arms overhead, grabbing hold of opposite wrists or elbows, letting the arms rest too. Let's breathe into the pose. Feel your body open into it. And now, as we get ready to go into our alpha meditation, we can just straighten the legs, toes fall gently out to the side. The arms come along the sides of the body with our palms down if you'd like to ground, or the palms up to receive. Or maybe you want to place one hand on the diaphragm, one hand on the heart. And so for the remainder of our time during this silent meditation, let's use our breath as our anchor. That monkey mind might try to wander away to the past or the future. Just notice it gently and call it back here by refocusing in on your breath. I'll call you out when it's time. And now that our time draws to a close, I invite you to slowly and gently bring your focus back inside your body. So you may want to first start to deepen your breath, and then you can wiggle fingers and toes. You can rotate ankles and wrists. You may want to just move that head gently side to side a few times. And finally, we can take a good morning stretch, bringing those arms overhead. Inhale, and on your exhale, you can roll to your favorite side, resting the head and the crook of the arm, bringing those knees up into a supported fetal position. We'll stay here just for a few more moments and then set our final intention. And now, as we get ready to go off into our afternoon, we can slowly return to a seated position with our eyes closed. We can bring our hands to heart center. The affirmation I want to share with you is this one: my body is always working toward optimum health. I cooperate and become ever more healthy and whole. So now let's take a deep breath. We'll put that out there in motion for us, and bringing our hands once more to heart center, bowing forward. The light within me sees, honors, and values the light within you. Blessings and namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and have a wonderful rest of your day.